hello. I'm a little late. But that is okay. I hope all is well today. And we are back from our little hiatus. So I hope all is well today, guys. Let me give some time for people to come in. And today we're going to be talking about goal setting tonight. I hope everyone's holidays went well. Make sure my light is like on. And for some reason, my screen is looking weird. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right, so I hope all is well. Hope the holiday went well. If you're celebrated Christmas or Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, if you don't celebrate, whatever, I hope your last 2 weeks were beautiful, filled with peace and sunshine and wonderful things. If it didn't, that's okay too, because life happens. For some reason, this is not removing from my screen. So, I hope you guys can hear me okay, because I can't see any comments. My screen is like weird. But tonight we're talking about goal setting. We have 8 affirmations for tonight to discuss it. And like I say all the time, feel free to use these affirmations however you wish to use them. So if you want to use them and write them down on Post-it notes, you want to post them on the wall, if you want to put them on in your journal, feel free to do so however you wish to. If you need to change the language at all, feel free to do that. This is just a template. Hey, how are you? Okay, now I can see comments. Hi, how are you? I hope all is well. I hope your holiday went well. Happy New Year, all of that jazz. But yeah, use your affirmations however you want to use them. If you again need to change the language, or you just put them in a journal or just post them on your wall, feel free to do that. If you feel free to only take the affirmations that make the most sense for you. If it doesn't make sense for you, then by all means, feel free to skip that one and just write down the affirmations that make the most sense to what you're going through right now. I always like to write all of them down just in case something happens down the line. You can refer back to it, but feel free to take from it what you need. Again, 8 affirmations, and the first one is, let me get this up here. The first one is, I am capable of achieving my goals and turning my dreams into a reality. Ignore my nails because they look horrible, just by the way. I am capable of achieving my goals and turning my dreams into a reality. So the first affirmation is there for us to just remind ourselves of our capabilities and our abilities, that we are capable of achieving our goals. And these things aren't just like these imaginary dreams. If we can see it, then we can actually do it, right? We can obtain it. So just thinking of your dreams as goals versus them just being these impossibilities. Thinking of them as actually being something that you can obtain. I know that's either easier said than done, but finding ways to turn your dreams into a reality, and understanding that if it's something that you can actually visualize and it's something that that could actually happen. So this is just a reminder that we are capable of achieving those goals. So I am capable of achieving my goals and turning my dreams into a reality, right? And turning the impossible into the possible. And even if you look at your dreams, you're like, there's really no way. You're like, okay, there's absolutely no way that this is actually going to come to pass. Like there's no way. I would challenge you to challenge that thought and think of a way that it could be possible. Like just looking at it and saying, you know what, if I did this, that actually might happen. Or if I did that, it actually could turn into a possibility. So just really thinking about these dreams, these things that you always wanted to do. And of course, you want to be realistic. If your dream is to be an alien in outer space, that's one thing, okay? All right, now we understand that that's not a capability. But these realistic goals that actually could potentially happen, really think through those things and really understand that, hey, if I just think outside of the box, this may be possible. This may be possible. Thank you for putting that in the comments. I appreciate you. Awesome. That's number one. Number two, I attract success and meet each positive thought with action. I attract success and meet each positive thought with action. I'll say that again. I attract success and meet each positive thought with action. So it's not just what we're attracting, right? It's not just that we're attracting these successes, but when we have these positive thoughts, when we have these dreams, we're not just having them, but we're meeting them with action. That's the difference between possibility and the impossibility and possibility. The difference is action, right? You actually physically taking the action and taking the steps to meet that actual goal. So I attract success. So I'm attracting what I want. I'm attracting what is going to come into my life. But not just that, I'm meeting that attraction and that success and those positive thoughts with action behind it. I'm actually doing something about it, right? Now, action can look different in several different ways, right? Action can be you actually physically going after it and pursuing it. Action could be you positioning yourself in the right spaces. So you're putting yourself in the right rooms and around the right people to be able to obtain that goal, right? Or action could be you educating yourself. So you taking the time to educate yourself in a space that you know that you want to do, that you know that you want to obtain, but you lack the knowledge, right? So action could look different depending on what you're looking to obtain or what you're looking to do, but the action is what's most important, right? It's not just these large, extravagant steps that you're taking, but those little small steps that you're taking is just as important as the large ones. So based on what your goal is, and of course goals can range. You can have very small goals or very big goals. But what action steps, thinking about what action steps you can take and actually going for it and doing it. Procrastination is a big part of it. You'll say, oh, like these are the goals that I want, but you know, I can work on that next month, or I can work on that next week, or I can work on that next year, or I can wait until I get out of school, or I can wait until I'm at this job for a certain amount of years, or I can wait till I hit this amount in my savings account. Or there's so many different, avenues that you can take to say, oh, this is why I'm waiting. But any small action, any small step can definitely help you get there, right? And even when it comes to the action doesn't necessarily have to be towards that goal. It could just be a goal for you to go towards that goal, if that makes sense. So say you have a goal to buy a house, right? And this is my goal, to buy a house by this certain time. I know that I don't have the money for it right now. I don't have the money for it right now, but I do want to obtain this goal. So a small action could be setting up your credit report, getting your credit report and pulling it and actually seeing what's on it, so that way you can set up a way for you to have a higher credit score, so that way you may not have to have a large down payment. Or working with a financial consultant, or figuring out a way to save that works for you, so that way it may be pennies on the dollar of what you're saving, but you're working towards it. Opening an account, so that way it houses all of the money that you're trying to save for this particular goal. So it doesn't necessarily have to be, oh, I'm out looking for a house, right? That's not necessarily the action. But setting yourself up to go after the goal is still progress to that goal. So I hope that makes sense. But I attract success and meet each positive thought with action. Number 3, daily, I am evolving into the person I need to be to achieve my goals. Daily, I'm evolving into the person I need to be to achieve my goals. So just really kind of thinking about, and this can be a journaling action, right? Just really taking the time to think about, thank you for putting that in the chat. Think about what are the characteristics of a person that would meet that goal. If I'm looking at a goal and I'm looking at the person that would meet that goal, what does that person's characteristics look like? And then even just thinking about those characteristics and even taking the time to list them. If you feel like you need to write those characteristics down, write them down. A person that would obtain this goal would need these characteristics. And do I fit into those characteristics? And if I don't fit into those characteristics, what can I do to get myself there? That's what this affirmation is for. Because if you have a goal, and you can picture actually what that person would look like, characteristic wise, right? If you can picture what that person would look like and actually put tangible characteristics down, then you can set small goals to meet those characteristics for yourself. And that's still progress to your goal, right? So you're making progress to what that person should look like, making yourself look that way, not necessarily look that way, but becoming that. And then once you're becoming that, you may automatically put yourself in a position to actually be meeting these goals. I hope this makes sense. So talk back to me if it makes sense. So just understanding that we're not just looking at the goal, right? But we're also looking at the characteristics of the person that would meet that goal. And if you are looking at the characteristics of the person and looking at the goal, they'll come and meet together in the middle. All right. So that was daily. I am evolving into the person I need to be to achieve my goals. Daily, I am evolving into the person I need to be to achieve my goals. So, what does that look like? That person needs discipline, right? That person needs open-mindedness, optimism. That person needs a dedication. They need, what else? Anything else that you can think of, but they need perseverance. They need help. They need a support system, right? So just thinking of all of those things, listing them out, and making sure that you're meeting those characteristics. Now, granted, if you're not perfect in all of those areas, that's fine, but at least striving for those areas so that way you can be a better version of yourself to meet the goal that you're looking to meet. That's what's most important. That was number 3. Number 4, I trust in my abilities, and where I lack, I educate myself. I trust in my abilities, and where I lack, I educate myself. The key to goal setting is not just knowing your strengths, but also knowing your weaknesses, knowing where you're not strong at, right? And that's not for you to beat yourself up about, right? That's for you to be honest with yourself and say, hey, this is an area that I'm just not good at. Either I need to educate myself or I need to ask for help, right? If you have an area of that that you're going to need in order to meet your goal, then you're going to either educate yourself or find a consultant, find a mentor, find just the network of people that know, and get that additional support. I know that there was like a situation where I was doing something within my own business, and I had a few business owner friends that were helping me, and I had mentioned it to one of my business partner friends, and his business is a lot bigger than mine. And I mentioned it to him, and I was stressing myself out about it for, I want to say, weeks. I'll say about 2 to 3 weeks. I was stressing myself out about it, and I mentioned it to him. He was like, "Oh yeah, you just got to do this," and I was like, "That's it?" And he's like, "Yeah, you just need to do this and just go to this website and sign up here." He's like, "Let me show you." So then he showed me, and he fixed the problem for me in literally 10 minutes, where I was stressed about it for weeks. So like, it's not just necessarily you having to know how to do everything, but just having the right people around you, right? And having the right support system and being humble enough and okay enough to express to someone that's already been doing it, to say, "Hey, I'm trying to do this. It's not working out for me. Can you help me?" And if you have that support system in place ahead of time, and have those relationships built, then more likely they'll be able to help you, and you can breeze through some things that would cause and create a whole lot of havoc if you just try to do it by yourself. So just understanding that it's not necessarily always about you having to know everything and educating yourself, but also just making sure that you have a support system and you have mentors and you have people around you that can help you. And even if you don't have those that mentorship or that help, putting yourself in places that the people that you need help from are at, putting yourself in networking events, putting yourself in just rooms of where people that you need are there, putting yourself in, even if it's just a matter of like following the right people on social media or watching the right podcasts, or and asking questions there. There's so many different ways that you can get the support you need, instead of you trying to do everything by yourself. Because a lot of times that's the hang up of us hitting our goals, is us just trying to do everything on our own, and it's you're going to need a village. You're going to need help. No matter if it's a huge, big goal or even some of the small goals, you're going to need help, and be okay with that. Awesome. So that was, I trust in my abilities, and where I lack, I educate myself. Number 5, I deserve success, and I challenge all of my limiting thoughts. I deserve success, and I challenge all of my limiting thoughts. So just understanding that when it comes to our goals, sometimes the things that hold us back is just that we feel like we don't deserve the success. We feel like we don't deserve to be successful, or to have that goal be accomplished. So it's a reminder to say I deserve success, but then also making sure that when we do have these limiting thoughts, that we challenge them, right? Thank you for putting that in the chat. And when we challenge them, and I don't want people to get into the habit of beating yourself up when you have a limiting thought, because a limiting thought is human nature. It's going to come, and it's actually critical thinking, right? If you're taking the time to really think through a scenario, you're going to think of all scenarios. So limiting thoughts are going to come up, like, "Oh, I can't do that. I may have to do it this way, but I can't do that." So it's a natural reaction to have a limiting thought. So don't think of it as it being a negative thing, because it's not. It's just your brain trying to put a puzzle together. And if we allow it to put the puzzle together, but that's what's most important. But if we allow it to put the puzzle together and then stop at a certain piece, then that's when it's like, okay, maybe we can put a piece here, or move this piece around, or think creatively and think outside of the box. So just instead of saying I can't do something, maybe shift your language to, well, why not? Why can't I do this? Like, kind of actually list out, like, okay, if I'm telling myself I can't do this, why? And really think about why, instead of it just being I can't and that's it. Like, oh, I can't do that. Never mind. Forget it. No, I can't. maybe I can't do it that way, but I can do it this way. Or why, if this is really a can't, then why? And a lot of times the can't is financial, right? Typically, if you think of, like, if you get an I can't that pops into your mind when it comes to reaching a goal, it's usually finances that kind of holds us up. So then it should shift to, well, how can I raise money for this? Or how can I save money for this? Or what can I adjust? Can I move this money here and then move this back? Like, is there anything that I can do to adjust to make sure? Or do I need money for this? Is this something that I can do myself so that I won't have to pay someone? So just thinking outside of the box instead of just taking I can't for, okay, I can't and that's it. Challenge that I can't and seeing if there's another way that you can get there. So that was number 5. I deserve success and I challenge all of my limiting thoughts. Number 6, I embrace uncertainty on my journey to success, understanding that growth comes from the unknown. I embrace uncertainty on my journey to success, understanding that growth comes from the unknown. So really, all that's saying is get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Get comfortable with the uncertainty, because that's ultimately what holds us back as well. If it doesn't look like it's going to work out, or if there's missing pieces when it comes to, like, what are the process or what the plan is, that usually just completely stops us from even attempting. Whereas if we actually embrace the uncertainty, we embrace the journey of the process versus it being like, okay, if it's not meeting this, if I don't see it hitting this goal, then I shouldn't do it at all. And taking the time to embrace that uncertainty and that comfortability, that is the key to the action. Like we talked about earlier, is number 2 was I attract success and meet each positive thought with action. If we embrace the uncertainty, that will help us with the action. Because a lot of times what's holding us back is the uncertainty, the unknown. What if I fail? What if this doesn't work? What if this happens? What if they say no? What if I don't make any sales? What if I, there's so many what ifs, right? And we get so concentrated on the what ifs to where we allow the what ifs to talk us out of whatever we want to do. But embracing that uncertainty eliminates that. Now, again, going back to limiting thoughts and limiting beliefs and things of that matter, the what ifs also are a human experience. They are a human response to what we're trying to do. So don't beat yourself up with the what ifs. It's just your brain, again, trying to put that puzzle together. But pushing past the what ifs and embracing that uncertainty and moving forward without allowing that uncertainty to hold you back is what's most important. Oh yeah, definitely watch the recap back. I'll 100% save it. But yeah, we're talking about goal setting tonight, so I hope that this is helpful. And I started late, so no worries. No worries. That was number 6. I embrace uncertainty on my journey to success, understanding that growth comes from the unknown. Number 7, I release the need for perfection and embrace progress being the key to my success. I release the need for perfection and embrace progress being the key to my success. So just embrace the process and celebrate the small wins on your path. So just making sure to embrace the process, understand that everything's not going to be perfect. And a lot of times perfection is what stops us from taking the action. So going back to number 2 of taking action. And just understand it doesn't have to be perfect. The plan doesn't have to be a perfect plan in order for you to actually take action on it. And a lot of times taking action, I've said this before, is just setting yourself up, positioning yourself in the right space and be at the right place at the right time. A lot of times that's all the action you really need to take. So embrace that, that it may not be perfect. Your plan may not be perfect. Your plan may be incomplete. You may have a plan up to stage 2, and then stage 3 and 4 is just, not there. But there's so many times where I've had half of a plan and I got to the end of my plan and I'm like, oh, okay, now I can do this and I can do that. So sometimes you just have to take the action and move forward. And then welcome the detours and adjustments. Welcome the pivots that you have to make during the process. And just because you have to make a detour or an adjustment, that doesn't mean that you have to change the goal. A lot of times we'll see a detour or an adjustment that we need to make and we'll just completely stop, or we'll change the goal completely and get ourselves all off track. And that's not necessarily the case. It just may mean that you need to change how you get to the goal, or it may have to be so many steps this way or so many steps that way instead of going straight. So just understanding that there isn't a need for perfection, and embrace the progress more than it being perfect or being the perfect plan. So yes, that was number 7. I release the need for perfection and embrace progress being the key to my success. Number 8, I am not defined by my goals, and it does not determine my worth. I am not defined by my goals, and it does not determine my worth. So in all of this conversation of us talking about, our limiting beliefs and taking action and embracing the uncertainty and releasing the perfection, we talked through all of that. At the end of the day, I want you guys to walk away with understanding that your goals don't define you. And no matter how hard it is and how much trouble you run into trying to hit your goal, it doesn't determine your worth. And if you don't hit your goal, you miss a deadline, or you don't meet the goal or the goal has to change, or you get frustrated with yourself through the process and have to stop at a certain point, even if all of that happens, be kind to yourself, practice self-compassion, give yourself grace. Because at the end of the day, if you don't meet your goals, you're still worthy, you still have worth, and you still don't have to, even if those things don't happen, it doesn't determine who you are or make who you are or even equate to a failure. So just understanding after all of this that you're not defined by it. I hope these were helpful. I went through those and I kind of talked through a lot. I went on my little tangents, but I hope that these were helpful. I'm going to go back through to the top, but definitely watch the playback as well. Number 1, I am capable of achieving my goals and turning my dreams into reality. Number 2, I attract success and meet each positive thought with action. Number 3, daily, I am evolving into the person I need to be to achieve my goals. Number 4, I trust in my abilities, and where I lack, I educate myself. Number 5, I deserve success and I challenge all of my limiting thoughts. Number 6, I embrace uncertainty on my journey to success, understanding that growth comes from the unknown. Number 7, I release the need for perfection and embrace progress being the key to my success. And number 8, I am not defined by my goals, and it does not determine my worth. So those are the 8 affirmations for the new year. I'm glad to be back on our Affirmations Live. I had my 2-week hiatus. Oh, awesome. I'm glad that they are helpful. So we'll be continuing every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for our Affirmations Live. I also do the same live on Instagram, so if you switch back and forth, feel free to do so. That one's at 7:30. The live meditation is also on Instagram on Wednesdays at 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. I did post my schedule, so feel free to look at that. And then I'll be starting back the live classes, I want to say by the end of the month on Friday nights. That's usually every other Friday night at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time on Zoom. You can sign up at haveninspired.com soon. It's not posted yet, but you'll see that by the end of this week. Um, yeah, I know what you meant. No worries, no worries. And then the meditation for this week will be up. I'm working on changing the schedule because I'm thinking I might do 2 meditations a week. But I need to change the schedule a bit because Sundays is getting kind of taxing for me. So I'm thinking it might be like I'm I'm thinking it's probably going to be like a Wednesday and Friday posts. I think that might be the schedule. And then one will be just for the channel, and then one will be a Christian based one. I want to do 2 a week, one being Christian based, and then one being a general meditation. So I'll post that up soon as far as the new schedule, but you will get a new meditation up this week. I'm thinking it will be up by Wednesday. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. You can always shoot me a message on the website at haveninspired.com. Or you can always jump in the DMs on TikTok at Haven Inspired, on Instagram at Haven Inspired. So I hope that this was all informative. I can't wait to see you guys next week. But yes, look out for the new meditation on Wednesday. So I'm still trying to figure that out. I think I have to get like StreamYard, right? Do I have to get StreamYard to do that? So I don't have to do 2 lives? I have to figure that out. I'm not the biggest. I mean, I can do tech, but some tech stuff, it's a learn. See, look, I know my weaknesses. So I gotta ask for help. Do you see how it all turns and comes around, right? I think it's StreamYard, but I have to figure that part out so that way I can do both at the same time. So that's my next thing to figure out for. I'll write that down. That's my next goal to figure out for 2024. But yeah, I hope this is all helpful. You guys have a great rest of your night. And definitely make sure to continue to share these lives, share these with people that you think that can benefit from them. And if you have any feedback or any recommendations or anything that you want to see from the channel, definitely let me know. Oh, also, I did post the 20-minute, the core values meditation. It's a new layout, so it was 10-minute meditation, 10-minute journaling. Let me know how you guys like that, because I may want to incorporate that into the weekly meditation. So let me know how those went. But yeah, you guys have a great rest of your night, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.